Hello everybody, welcome to my channel and thank you for joining. Now in today's episode we're going to talk about our ins and outs going into round, what round are we up to? I think it's round 9 now. How quick is the season going? We're into round 9. Okay, let's have a look and let's go through our team and our structures and stuff like this now. Just coming down, all the boring stuff we're going to do today, just coming down. Now, before we start, I have a small announcement. A gentleman, a good young man, by the name is Steve-O, he put up a tweet. This is what he had to say. He says, I'm a complete AFL numpty, and your videos have gotten me into the top 4% after 8 rounds. That's sensational. It makes me very happy when I see stuff like this. It's good to see some success, and not everyone is in the top 4%. That's a big achievement. So well done, Steve-O. Let's hope that you can get to the top 1%. You can climb the ranks, get to the top 100. Just come down. Okay, let's continue. Now this week, we scored a 25-59. It was a top 1% score. Actually, it was a 224th highest score for the round. Just coming down. Okay, the Ferrari is starting. I'm just going to choose a colour soon. Just coming down. Now, ranking-wise, season ranking, we're in the top 1% now. We've climbed up to the top 1%. Just coming down, everybody. Okay, just coming down. Okay, so now we're ranked 2,200. An extra, if I had a captain right last week, we'd be up about the 1,000 range. But anyway, that doesn't matter about last week, because if Bob was my uncle, something else would have happened. Just coming down. We can't go with ifs or whats, okay? We could only go with what we have in hand right now. Now, let's continue. I'm going to show you now an interesting stat, okay? Actually, there's a few interesting stats here. Now, currently, our team value is, if we add in the 260k we got in hand, it's about 13 mil. All right, and that's pretty much not bad. Okay, we're happy with 13 mil. Same time last year. Now, let's go to history. Now, to go to history, or you go to my team, all right, and just press the history thing. You can go to fields, all right, or you can go to history. So we're in history now. Now, if you want to look at last year's history, you go to 2022. Okay, so you got 2022, and you have history. Now, last year, I was ranked round 8. Actually, in round 7, I was ranked 151st, all right? Now, in regards to higher scores, I never had I had a 1,100th highest score, a 1,000th highest score, not a lot of high scores, 7,000th high, well, they're okay, top 3% higher scores, they're a bad one, possibly a few bad ones in between, not like spectacularly good, but then I had a 13th highest score, and it happened to be in round 8 last year. Now, coincidentally, this year, I have a 220th highest score, also happens to be in round 8. Now, is this a coincidence, or is this something different? Let me show you something. It's not a coincidence, okay? I'll tell you why. It's because of the amount of rookies that we have on field are reduced. I did the same thing last year, and by doing this, your scores are going to be much higher, because people that have been sideways trading their players, getting better players, say they're in the top 10 or 20,000, they just sort of, let's say they take out Kelly, bring in someone else, they're not upgrading their teams. By upgrading our team, getting these rookies, we have used a lot of trades, but we've used them for a reason. We had to, and we don't have many playing rookies on field. It's because we've used their cash and upgraded our team. That's why we don't have them, okay? I could have kept some of these players, but I couldn't because I need to upgrade my team. I'm going to bring them back in slowly again now. So by upgrading your team, what happens is your scores get higher, all right? And obviously you climb the ranks. And this is what's going to start to happen now. That's the whole plan. So that's the method to our madness, okay? Our season starts in round 8 every year, okay? Not in round 1, round 2. Round 8 is when things kick off. Now, I want to talk about something else now, okay? Let me show you something. Now, I've gone into the players, all the players, okay? I want to show you the highest scores, all right? Now, when you get a player, All right, let's say you look at Shy Bolton, 152. I'm going to pick him up. He must be good, okay? Or you look at well, let's just say Brayshaw, okay? You could say Oliver, Green. They're all, they look Chera, they all look good. Cameron, 131, okay? Now, you'll notice people in the know, okay, will say, and people not in the know, they'll use this term lightly, okay? They will say, you're point chasing, okay? Now, what point chasing means, let's say I pick Anderson, okay? I want to get Anderson. Now, I got told this during the week, okay? I said, I'm thinking about getting Anderson. And someone said, oh, you're chasing last week's points. Well, if I'm chasing Anderson and last week's points, so does that mean I shouldn't go for Oliver because I'm chasing last week's points? It doesn't mean that. Chasing last week's points means getting a player like Charlie Cameron, who's got a 131. Now, that's chasing last week's points because the roles are different. Or getting a Luke Jackson. Actually, let's have a look at Luke Jackson. Just come down, everybody. Actually, I'll have a look at Luke Jackson. 126. Where did he play? Let's have a look. Now, I didn't watch this game. Okay, I have no idea what he did. Okay, let's have a look what he did. We go to DFS Australia. Now, let's have a look. Now, I've gone to Luke Jackson. Let's have a look at his stats. It says here, 31% CBAs compared to previous weeks, 10, 19, 9, 21. Now, this is interesting. The last time he had high numbers was 39, and that was in round 3. He had 24, and that was in round 2. Now, this is very interesting. Okay, now, round 1 and 2, he had high numbers, and if you can recall, these 2 rounds is when Sean Darcy didn't play that well. Now, has he got it back? Has he got his CBAs back? Probably not good news for Sean Darcy, though, but to be honest, not interested. Okay, what did he score when he had 39? He had 98. Did he kick any goals this week? 2 goals. Was going to kick 2 goals every week, so it's a pass from me. Okay, let's not worry about him. Just come down. Let's continue. But let's get back to my point that I was trying to explain to you before. When you see people commenting that Noah Anderson, if you say I want to get him in, and they say you're point chasing, well, how are you point chasing a player that's got 189 if he's got a heat map like this? That's not point chasing. You're chasing his role, not his points. You want your player to have this role, and if he's got this role and has the scoring ability, you're bringing in a primo. Now, this is Anderson's heat map. There's no way that I'm not going to bring in Anderson this week. He's in my team. Just come down. All you people that say I'm point chasing. I'm chasing a primo. That's what I'm chasing. Well, of course I'm chasing points. I want Anderson to score. That's why we play Supercoach, to score points. Just come down. Let's continue. If we trade out Setterfields, all right, these are the options. Trading out Setterfields. Also trading out Young, because we don't know what his injury is. It says he's injured. No one knows anything about his injury. It's to be announced. How can an injury be to be announced? A whole week to announce an injury. Anyway, let's just take him out for now. Let's bring in the boy from Hawthorn, okay, that's played under 3 games, Weedle. Now, if you know anything about his job security, don't be shy. Just come over and talk to us, okay? We want to know more about Weedle. Now, let's say we bring in Weedle, and then we bring in Anderson. Okay, let's complete this trade. Let's complete it. Now, this leaves us with 150k in the bank, all right? Now, if I didn't bring in Anderson, now Anderson has a break-even of 9. His last 2 scores, 144 and a 189. All right, against North Melbourne, he scored 89. That doesn't look like much, all right? But in that game, that was a weird game, all right? Now, in that game, Took Miller was on 40 till 3/4 time before he got injured. So it's not like Took Miller was doing well. It was just a weird game for scoring. It was crazy. So, count this game out, he scored a 134, a 109, 144, 189, and alright, we've got the 89 there as well. It's still not bad, okay? Even with Took in the team, is doing okay, right? Besides this 71 against Geelong. Anyway, that's another story. But Has his role changed? I looked. No. His role's the same. I'm very keen. He's also got the round 12 bye, which is handy. And if he goes nuts, if he scores 130s, 140s, the horse is bolted. His break even is 9. Okay, how do you get him after that? You're gonna pay 650. If he scores a 130 this week, break even on 130, he's gonna make 55k. He's gonna be 660k next week. You can't get him. He's more expensive than Oliver. Okay, might as well get him now. Another thing you may ask me is, well, we could have got him 50k cheaper last week. Well, personally, I couldn't because I had other things to fix, okay? But I look at it this way. If I'm going to pay 550k for a player and not know if he's going to be good or not with these stats, or pay 600k for a player knowing that he's going to be good after seeing what he did to Melbourne, I'm happy to pay 600k. I'm happy to pay an extra 50k and get him in this week, knowing how good he is. Keeping a close eye on him for 2 weeks now, and I really like what I saw. So Anderson is coming in for me this week, and this is one option. Now, if I do this route, okay, what happens? It gives me 150k left in the bank. Going from I'm going to show you something different today, which is a projected score. Okay, the only reason I'm going to show you this is just to show you what a difference it makes if I do it for different routes. Okay, so let's say it doesn't mean that I'm going to score 25-31. It just shows you a difference in scoring patterns if I go a different way, right? So if I go this way, it gives you 150k, which then next week I can put that on top of Ashcroft, upgrade Ashcroft, or I could put that on top of Van Rooyen, which gives me 400k, and then possibly, who else is there? Let's say of value, maybe Davey. All right, so Van Rooyen and Davey next week. Davey becomes. Who can Davey become? Well, he can become a North Melbourne rookie, Drury. Okay, so it gives me another 110k. So I have 510k to play with next week if I do this option. So I'll work out what option I want to do next week. 2 trades. Anyway, that's something to think about. Then I have to find someone that's worth 510k. I don't think there's many. Or I can go via Ashcroft and just get an Oliver. Okay, and get someone big. That's another option. Something to think about. Let's go for another plan now. Now, you just seen plan A, and that's most likely the plan I'm going to be using. Okay, now there's plan B as well. Now, plan B, now Van Rooyen's going to be out for 2 weeks. Let's just, for argument's sake, say he's not out. Okay, now Van Rooyen, let's have a look at Van Rooyen. His break-even is now 60. Once a rookie gets to a break-even of 60, I start getting nervous, okay? Because his last 2 scores, actually, he's only cracked 60 twice. One was against Richmond, and he did that in 1 quarter, okay, because he was having a bad game that game, and I didn't watch the Sydney game. So, scoring 60 for Van Rooyen is actually not easy. All right, let's continue. Now, plan B, after seeing what Rooyen break-even is, if we trade out Van Rooyen, all right, let's trade him out. That gives us 508k. Let's move Taranto into the forward line. Now, I want to hold 780 because if 780 plays this week, he's going to make more money. Okay, now his suspension is over. Break even is 22. Might as well keep him now. He's going to make some cash. That's why we held him, because we knew there's no rookies coming. So 780 might be okay still. So we held him. Now, if Van Rooyen's out, if we trade him out, bring Noah Anderson in there. All right. And then if we trade out Young, we don't have much money left. We can't bring in Weedle. That's the only problem. All right. So if we don't bring in Weedle, we have to bring in. Who do we bring in? We bring in the North Melbourne boy, Drury. Okay, well, players I can afford. There's not many. There's only one. Well, actually, there's 2. There's Wagner as well, but he's sort of not getting games. So if you go by this week's scores, where are they? Actually, I can't even put Weedle there. Actually, I can. I'll move Constable down there. And where are they? How do I get him? Okay, there is Drury. Sorry, bring in Drury. So I can do that. But what happens then is I miss out on Weedle. All right, now I don't know how strong Weedle's drop security is, but that's another option. Now, by doing this, you'll notice now my projection. All right, let's have a look at the projection now. It goes higher because I get Mitchell off field. So now Mitchell, virtually what I've done is I've swapped Mitchell with Setterfield. So Setterfield's taking over Mitchell's role. So my scoring power increases. That's why I wanted to show you the projection. Because all I've got left on field now is Chincotta and Ashcroft. Plus Setterfield. They're the only rookies on field now. And it's not that bad. It's not ended. Chincotta's scoring okay. So was Ashcroft was. And so my rookies on field now are very minimal now. So that's another option. But the question becomes, do I want to keep Setterfield? That's another problem. All right, let's continue. Now let's just, for argument's sake, say we insist that we want to have Weedle this week. How are we going to do it? Okay, and we want to keep Setterfield. We want Weedle and we want Setterfield. How are we going to do this? Well, there's only one other way. Okay, and that's to get rid of Van Rooyen and also Samaniti. They both go. We then move Davey into the forward line, move Taranto into the forward line, move Chincotta into the midfield. Then we bring in, Anderson while he's there, and then we bring in Hawthorn under 3 games. Weedle, we have enough. But the problem then becomes, if we complete the trade, let's complete it. Okay, complete a trade. Now, the problem here is now I have Weedle on field and Chincotta on the bench. I can't put Chincotta on field. There's a big problem now because I don't have a DPP here, and it doesn't work out for me. So it can't happen. All right. So even though have a look at our points. If we have a look at our points, our projection is low again. So there's no point. We can't get Weedle this way. Let's now talk about Rory Atkins. Okay, so people have been asking me about Rory Atkins. And so I'm doing some digging in now. We're going to look at his heat maps as well. Firstly, we need to find out who has he replaced. So we need to look at job security. Okay, now and where he's playing. So let's have a look at his heat maps first. Now, in the 2 games that he's played, all right, let's have a look at round 1. Round 7. Okay, well, for him it's round 1, but it's round 7. Where was he playing? Mainly in defence, okay, and this is up against Richmond in the first game, okay, and against Richmond, a lot of defenders scored well, okay, and he was one of them, so he did very well against Richmond. Now, last week, he played against Melbourne. Now, there's a good indication of 2 different styles of teams. Time on ground is identical, 75%, okay, but Supercoach scores, one's an 89 and one's a 68. Points per minute is a lot different as well. Now, let's see, where did he play last week? Against Melbourne, he had a similar role, but didn't get as many touches because Melbourne have a more skillful team than Richmond right now, so they're kicking into the forward line. Wasn't directly to Atkins, it was to their own players. Richmond might learn from this and kick their own players as well. Anyway, so his scoring changed. Okay, but does he have job security? Okay, that's a question everyone's asking me now. What's his job security like? Who's got to come back into this team? Well, let's have a look. I've now gone to foxsports.com.au, all right, and I went to round 7, okay, and I looked at the ins and outs. So we had in Davies, Sexton, and Atkins, okay, and outs we had McAndrew, Roses, Miller, and Casbolt managed. Okay, now Casbolt's come back since. Miller is still injured, so we'd assume that Davies has replaced Miller, Sexton has replaced Roses, and I would have to say Atkins has replaced Andrew. Okay, that's the only thing that makes sense. Who else has Atkins replaced? Unless Sexton has replaced Andrew, but Andrew was playing in defence, wasn't he? Let's have a look where Andrew was playing. Now, Andrew played 3 games, all right, round 4, 5, and 6. Similar time on ground, all right, actually a little bit more even. Scored a 50, 42, and a 64. In his last game that he scored 64, he played in defence. So he's virtually got Andrew's role, all right. So now the question becomes, how is Andrew playing in the twos? Because Andrew is an up-and-coming star against we're talking about a player that's a little bit older. Okay, now who do they want in there? Actually, let's go back. Let's continue. Now, the next question becomes, was he injured? And did he just come back into the team for round 7 and 8? So is he more of a permanent player? Well, let's have a look. Because from what I'm seeing here, round 1, 2, 3, and 5, VFL, he didn't play. Could that be he was injured? So does that mean he has more job security? It actually looks that way, doesn't it? Have a look. There's nothing here. This is interesting now. Just come down. Let's continue. Now, I've dug in deeper, okay? Rory Atkins is contracted until at least 2025, okay? So they're not going to get rid of him. They're playing him to stay there. He's part of the future. This is a good signs. They've got him for 2 more years after this year, so they're not thinking about not playing him, okay? So was he injured? Well, I've gone to the round 5 injury list. Okay, I'm gonna go even further back. I've gone to round 5. Now, there's some interesting things in here. Okay, I want to show you something really interesting. I've gone to Gold Coast. Okay, let's go to Gold Coast. All right, where's Gold Coast? They're up here. All right, we're at Gold Coast. All right, well, we don't see our boy Atkins here, but look at this. Sam Flanders, knee, 5 weeks. Now, this is round 5. Okay, Sam Flanders played last week. 5 weeks was only 2 weeks. This thing is off the charts. How can you believe these things? 5 weeks. Sam Flanders was only 2 weeks. Knee. Unbelievable. But I'm going to see if Atkins was injured. Let's dig in deeper. Just come down. I've gone into the Gold Coast website. In the VFL, Atkins got 4 votes for the Suns in the VFL. And this was the week before he got promoted. Actually, the same week Sexton got promoted, got 10 votes. So Sexton and Atkins had a good game in the VFL and both got promoted up the order, which then means that Atkins wasn't injured in round 6, okay? But maybe he's coming back from an injury, played in the VFL, and then went straight to the AFL. I'm still digging in. Let's find out some more. Now, let's see what we can do by bringing in Atkins. Okay, now, Setterfield, again, he goes out. Setterfield's copying it bad. Okay, now Setterfield's out. Anderson's back in. Now, we have an option here, because Atkins is a defence or a mid. So we can remove one of these. Now, Davies still playing, but Davies break even. What is it? 45. Now, how many times has Davies cracked 45? Well, he's only beaten 45. Well, not very often, okay, but 45 is his range, but he may get a 60 now and then. Who's he playing? Brisbane Lions. He may not get a 60, but then again, he plays against Richmond and West Coast back-to-back. He may get a bigger score here. Let's just keep Davey in there for now. Young, we don't know if he's playing or not, okay? So we're going to get rid of Young because Gipkus is going to come back in the team as well. So it could be the end of Young. Now, so who we're going to bring in here? Gold Coast. Okay, and we're going to bring in here Atkins. Now, let's complete this trade. Now, what this does, all right, it gives us less cash. Now we only got 150k to spend, but it helps our buy rounds. Okay, so round 14 and 15, he becomes very useful, and that's if he's still in there in round 14 and 15. That's the dilemma now. That's still around about 5-6 weeks away. Okay, so is he going to last 5 or 6 weeks? That's the main question now. Is McAndrew going to come back, or is Constable going to come back? Because Constable is also because keep in mind, McAndrew replaced Constable, and then he was replaced by Atkins. So if Atkins doesn't play, Constable plays. We don't lose still, okay? We still got somebody that's going to play, but if McAndrew comes back in, then we lost both of them. It's a waste. And I can't upgrade the team that I want. So I'm actually going to pass on Atkins. This will be my trade this week. Setterfield out, okay? And it's going to have to be Young. All right, Young out, because I'd rather have Whittle this week because at least this way I've got another rookie to bring in next week. Because if I don't bring in Weedle this week, who do I bring in next week? There's no one else, and it's not like I want to put Drury on field anyway. I'm going to put Drury on the bench, and Drury's only played one game. What if he gets injured this week or gets dropped? I'll put him in for nothing. So let's just wait on Drury. There's no rush. I'll bring in Weedle this week, and I'll also bring in Anderson. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. That's the plan. Now, by doing this, I'll show you some what happens now. Now, next week, I've got the calculator ready here. What are our plans next week? Well, we have a couple of plans. We're going to trade out first Van Rooyen, 247. Trade him out. Plus, we're going to trade out Ashcroft, 373. All right? Equals. That's 620k. We take away Drury, who's 102k. Plus, we add in the money we have in bank, 150k. That equals 668k. So next week, we can bring in anyone we want. Okay? It doesn't matter which position ever. I can bring in a forward, a defender. It doesn't matter who I bring in, because I can do some DPPs. But the chances are most likely, I'm probably going to look at Oliver. Okay? However, let me show you something with Oliver now. Just calm it down. So who do we bring in next week? Okay, what's our plan? We know it's going to be Drury. That's one. But who's the other one? Okay, let's have a look. Lockie Neal, 149 break even. We can bring in Lockie Neal because he's going to play with his 149 break even, but there's no point. He's got a 63 in there. You might as well wait till that drops off. Okay, so forget about Lockie Neal. So who's next? Oliver. Let's have a look at Oliver. Actually, when is Took Miller due back? To be confirmed. We don't even know when Took Miller comes back. Let's have a look at Oliver. Now, Oliver, his matchups. Well, next 4 games, all right? He has Hawthorn. They have Nash. He tags. Port Adelaide. Drew tags. At Freo. I'm not sure. Do Freo tag? I don't think Freo tags. So he might have a good game here with Freo. They may tag. I'm not sure, but I haven't watched many of their games lately. So because I don't have any Freo players. Anyway, they may tag. We'll have a look at that. But Carlton, they do tag, okay? They have 2 taggers now. So Hewitt is their latest tagger, and he really tagged this week. He got Neil down to nothing virtually. Neil scored at 60-odd against Carlton, so Carlton will tag him. So there is a possibility that Oliver, even though his break-even is 99, he'll probably get it. But then after that, he plays against Port Adelaide, and they're pretty hard to score against as well. So he may not get it against Port Adelaide, and he may not get it. He may get it, but look at the projected score. 121, he makes 10k. Then the projected score is 104, which is reasonable. He goes down. So there's a chance that Oliver will go cheaper. All right? Let's actually have a look at Hawthorn and how much midfielders are scoring against the Hawks. Let's have a look. Now, against the Hawks, the Bont, when did he play Hawthorn? He's got a 122 against the Hawks. Dawson. Let's go to Dawson. He's got a 78 against the Hawks. I mean, look at Dawson's scores against the Hawks, 78. Bont and Pelly, 122. When we know the Bont can go bigger, all right. And Bont only got tagged in 1 quarter against the Hawks. Now, who has played the Hawks? This week we had Sarong. He played the Hawks. He scored about 100. So the Hawks don't usually concede many points. So Oliver is at risk of scoring about 100 this week. Okay, maybe 110. So he's not going to go up in value too much. He may go 130. It's Oliver. You know, he could do anything. But I don't know. Okay, there's a risk there. So there's no rush to bring in Oliver. Okay, I waited this long. I must just wait a little bit longer. Just calm it down. Okay, so who can I target next week? Let's continue. Let's have a look. So if it's not going to be Oliver, all right, who can we target? Well, there's Luke Ryan that we can target. Break even 97. He's getting these scores easily. All right, look at his scores. One score under 100. So Luke Ryan is a target. That's one target. Who's our other target? Let's keep looking. Libba. No, I don't want Libba. Bad buy round for us as well. Petrarca. Okay, I'm not sure I want Petrarca, to be honest. He's got good scores. I mean, very good scores. 100 virtually every game. Actually, why don't I want Petrarca? but his price, 600, 97, 97. They're good scores. Okay, well, Petrarca's an option. But I'd rather have Oliver. If I'm going to have a Petrarca, I might as well have an Oliver. Okay. Then who else is there? Okay, now Sarong. We talked about him. Scored 105 against the Hawks this week. But even in last week, scored 109 against. So he's sort of up and down a bit. Okay, so Sarong. Who else have we got? We got. There's not much. There's Laird. Have a look at Laird. Now Laird's break even is 150 this week. Okay, so if he scores a 100, he drops another 20k, and the following week plays against the Dogs. If he scores then his break even is 135. Laird is an option actually. Laird is a big option next week. If Laird scores a 100 this week, I'll probably get Laird. Okay, because his injury, it might be over by then. Okay, his scores haven't been the best, but you're paying 100k less than what you paid for him, and these scores it's almost his bottom now. So Laird is a big option next week. Okay, let's continue. So if Laird takes this spot here, okay, what's left? I have one spot left here, Hopper, and that's going to be in round 15. Going to Oliver. So I'm going to get Oliver in round 15. That's very late, okay? But that's what I'm going to do. That's what it looks like. Looks like I'm leaving Oliver to last this year. So Oliver might come into our team in round 15, unless I get him next week. So I'll see how he goes against Nash. Yeah, it's going to be either Oliver or Laird next week. Okay, that's one of the two. But we're getting the big guns now, okay? We're no longer shopping at the $2 shop or the reject shop. No more Victoria Markets. No more shopping at Footscray Market or Sunshine Market. We're going straight to Prada now. Just coming down. Prada and Chanel. The reason for this is because after we've done this trade, what's left? I've only got to upgrade Chinkota and Mitchell. There's only 2 players left to upgrade. I don't have any more. And there's cash coming. I got cash everywhere now. I got Van Rooyen's cash. I got Samaniti. I mean, Van Rooyen's going to be gone. So I got Samaniti's cash. I got Drury's cash, which will build up. I got Davies' cash. I got Cowan's cash. Chinkota will go up in value. Mind you, Mitchell will go up in value. I'll have enough cash to upgrade these 2. I don't think I'm in trouble. I think that the cash problems are over. Just calm it down. Okay, let's continue. We've now come towards the end of our episode, or end of our video, or video and episode. Just calm it down. Now, if you find out any information about Atkins, if he was injured or not, please do let us know, because I couldn't find nothing else. There was nothing about injury. There was injuries last year or the year before, but nothing for this year. So, and I couldn't find him playing in the VFL. I didn't get it. All these stats, I can't work it out. How does that work out? Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining. And remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.